Shalom Yashala. I'm going to begin this sit down by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rukwah Kodash. I'm going to like to say double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that exhort brothers to stay in the spirit, circumspectly watching. Shalom to all of the sincere Akia man that are pushing this truth in sincerity. It's the brother Awar from the GMSLondon camp. As you can see from the title of this article, it reads, London's Metropolitan Police Force considers armed foot patrols. So basically, long story short, they're trying to militarize the police. Yeah, it says here the Metropolitan Police is considering deploying armed officers on foot patrols to prevent violence in areas where gang activity is likely. So basically, they're saying, you, Jake, are wild and you need to be controlled, you need to be contained, and we're gonna send in the boys with the big guns to do that, man. Esau's gonna bring down his sword, man. Hey, says Met Commissioner Cressida Dick, what a name, told a hearing that the move would only be used in extreme circumstances. In a memo seen by the BBC, she said that the measure Salakia will only be used for short periods of time. The Met said armed patrols will not be routine, but a Labour peer warned they would be seen as provocative. Temporary measure. The number of violent deaths in London has reached 127 so far, surpassing 2017's total of 116 killings. In the memo seen by the BBC, email recipients were told the idea of armed police on foot patrol was a recent internal discussion into how to reduce violent deaths in the capital. So basically what they're saying is, if they suspect you of being a gremlin, if they think that you're out here participating in this gang culture, they're just gonna shoot you down, man. Man, Esau's not out here playing, man. And you, Jake, out here needs to realize that this damn devil's about to show his horns. I mean, really and truly, they're poking out from now. And if you're spiritual, you can see it. But, hey, like it says in Isaiah, the 60th chapter, man, the Most High has blinded you, man. Man, Revelations, the 12th chapter and the 12th verse, and it reads, Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. The word woe being an old English word for destruction is saying destruction to the inhabitants of the earth, being the entire inhabited earth, the inhabitants of it, and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. This man knows that he's got literally a limited time to set up his new world order plan. So what's Esau doing? He's trying to literally force everything. He's trying to force the hand, man. He's trying to make sure that everything's in place so that ultimately speaking, when that time comes, man, he can rule universally, man. But this damn devil's going to be brought down, man, in the fullness of his sufficiency, as the scripture saith, because he believes that he is the Most High, man. And that's why the Lord Yahweh Yahweh Shai is going to come back, take his crown and crush this man. The 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, and then the 3rd verse, which reads, Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. So we know that the so-called white man now is Esau Edom. We know that he's the son of perdition. We know that the Lord Yahweh Shai ain't got no sort of, ain't got no promise of mercy for this damn devil, man. Why? Because it says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God, man. You gotta understand, this is deep. This is a God complex that this so-called white man has. He's got it to where he's Cesare Borgia. He's all of the historical biblical figures of value in the scriptures somehow, some way, man. When really and truly it tells you that Jeremiah 14:2 that Judah mourneth in the gates thereof language, they are black onto the ground. You look up the word black in the Hebrew and it's Kodar, meaning dark skin. People try and say that in Songs of Solomon it was the Shemite speaking, when it clearly says the Song of Solomon's, man. And that all of that additional shit about the Shemite and Solomon exchanging, that's not in the original King James, man. That's some shit that they added on, and that's Esau's scholars. You can't trust this damn devil, man. You really can't trust the devil, but that's our people, man. They want to join hand in hand with the wicked. But what does it say in Proverbs 11:21? Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished. The seed of the righteous shall be delivered. In the memo, back in the article, in the memo seen by the BBC, email recipients were told the idea of armed foot police on foot patrol was part of a recent internal discussion into how to reduce violent deaths in the capital. If adopted, the armed patrols would be based on an uninformed, or Salaka would be based on an informed and reliable intelligence picture of where gang activity is likely. All needs to be done in the full consideration with the local police and borough, and be used as a temporary measure for short periods of time, the memo stated. Man, Miss Dick told the London Assembly, hearing the change, the change would only be a half step from the status quo and represent a small change in tactics in extreme circumstances. Man, this man is getting ready, man. He's really getting ready. He's flexing his muscles, and you gotta understand that unless you got the Lord by your side, man, you're gonna get taken. Man. 2nd Esdras, the 15th chapter and the 3rd verse says, "Fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness." You know, hey, and tell me who's more unfaithful than a 2/3 nigger, man. They don't give a fuck about nothing. Which is why the Lord Jehovah Hashem Yahushai is going to destroy you niggas through his sword, man, the so-called white man. Because they've got their permission to come on these shores right now, man. It's just that a lot of these soldiers out here, you know, they man, once they land, man, I'm telling you, man, once that time of martial law kicks in, it is not going to be a joke. It really is not going to be a joke. You got this in Salakia, back in 2nd Esdras, the 15th chapter. It says, "Fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness." Man, then the Lord goes into the plagues that he's going to bring upon Egypt. Again, man, this modern day Egypt. But you got to understand that this society, man, was built to fall. Yeah? They're actually going to send out armed police to tackle violent gangs. Basically, a lot of you jakes are going to be getting shot. You thought Babylon was bad, just give it a little while, and they're going to be shooting you jakes left, right, and center, man. It says in this article regarding the same topic, under proposals being considered by the Met officers who drive around the capital in armed response vehicles could be asked to go out on foot in notorious areas to combat or prevent extreme violence. Met Commissioner Cressida Dick denied it was a move towards having routine armed patrols on the streets, insisting it was simply about highlighting trained officers efficiently. Man, what are they training for? This is what I'm saying. Like, you gotta understand what's going on around you, man, because really, man, shit is about to pop off. It's about to get very real, man. Very, very, very real, man. Just a second. Verse 5 says, "Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled." Man, and it goes on. But the Lord knows that the society is fucked up. Yahweh Shai is not going to leave us there forever, man. You got to have that mentality that the Lord is going to do right by brothers, man. The Lord, the scripture saith, "He that cometh to serve the Lord must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him." Fight the good fight of faith, man, and just make sure that the Lord is aware that you're doing what you got to do to make it into the kingdom, man, because, man, a lot of people are going to die on this side, man. A lot of them. But you always got to have the mentality of, listen, I've done what I need to do. Keep it moving, man. Man, a lot of people out here are going to die in these last days. Look at this shit right here. Look at this shit. Hold on. Scotland Yard considers using armed police to tackle violent gangs. Read through 2nd Esdras, the 15th chapter, man. It tells you. Just a second. So, like, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. There's going to be a riot, Lord willing, soon come, man. This whole society is breaking down, and it's all according to the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man. That's why you just got to give praise to the Lord and just know that Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is going to deliver his elect, man, somehow, some way, you know, man. I mean, in regards to this topic, that's all I got to say, man. And I mean, until the next time I kill, I'll say, Shalom, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, Barakah Shalom, Shalom, Shalom.